Alright, in this part of this module, we are going to talk about motivation to discipline. Okay, many times I get the question from students, yeah, Ustad, how do I regain my motivation to do the task? Yeah, Ustad, how do you stay motivated? Yeah, Ustad, motivation. And one thing that I want to say is, motivation is what gets the job started, but discipline is what finishes it. And this is with anything in life, with any type of goal. Motivation is what starts the job. What gets you to start building those systems and those rituals and habits to put them in place, but discipline is what finishes that goal. So you shouldn't rely on motivation. Motivation is just like al-iman. It's just like faith. It fluctuates, it goes up, it goes down, and that's the proof of or the evidence of this in the Quran is when Allah says إِذَا تُلِيَتْ عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتُهُ زَادَتْهُمْ إِيمَانًا, that indeed the believers, or rather the believers are those that when the sign or the signs of Allah are, and the verses of Allah are recited to them, زادتهم إيمانا, their iman increases. So the iman, the faith, goes up and down. And the same happens with motivation. Motivation goes up and goes down, goes up and goes down. It's not reliable. It is not reliable. So motivation is an event that happens from time to time based on, after watching this video, for example, you might get a burst of motivation. But discipline is a lifestyle. So motivation is something that happens once, but once that motivation burst happens, you need to use it to implement systems in your life and rituals and habits that will allow you to acquire that discipline as a lifestyle. Tamam? So with this being said, don't rely on discipline. Rather rely and work towards this. Don't rely on motivation, I meant. Rather rely on discipline and work towards discipline. Work towards adapting discipline in your life, working towards building the strength of resisting impulses, the impulse of picking up your phone and checking social media, the impulse of, giving up when hardship comes, when I'm trying to accomplish a goal, the impulse of overeating, which will cause my body to feel heavy and feel tired, the impulse of sleeping way more than what is necessary, which will cause me not to only to waste time, but as well to actually be more tired. So motivation is not reliable. And an example that I want to give you guys is just like, you see, when you might go to a class like a class where you guys talk about salah, for example, about prayer, and the speaker or the da'i or the teacher or the sheikh, he brings a bunch of evidences and raqa'iq and evidences that makes your heart soft and motivates you to keep on going with praying your prayers. All right, so that same night after that class, you get home and you take a shower. You are super tired. You walked a bunch of miles, you take a warm shower, get in your bed in a rainy night where you feel the coldness outside of your blankets, and then you remember that you didn't pray Salat al-Isha. You didn't pray Isha. What do you do in that particular moment? I'm pretty sure that 9.9 out of 10 people that will watch this, you don't even think twice. Like, yes, it is heavy. It's like, oh, I didn't pray Salat al-Isha. Oh my God. However, you know you will do it. So you go ahead, get the blankets off you, and go ahead, make your wudu and start praying salah, go back into the bed. And now here's the thing. If you did that, if you prayed your salah, because that day you came from a class that was speaking about salah, and you were super motivated about your salah, and you know that motivation still fresh, so you went ahead and prayed. But if that happened, for example, a month later, where there wasn't no class that particular day and there wasn't no motivation that made you come out of your bed, if that was the case, the second case that I stated, then that would be discipline, because you are doing it because you know that's the right thing to do, even though it's hard, even though it's heavy, even though you are tired, even though physically you don't feel like doing it, even though all of these different circumstances that are not helping towards you doing it, you went ahead and did it still, because you are emotionally attached to the result and to the goal, which is paradise, and you are fully certain about what you need to do, and you know the tasks that you need to do on a daily basis to achieve that. So you have implemented that as a lifestyle. That is discipline. You have implemented a discipline of praying your 5 prayers per day. You don't pray just because you went to a class and it was super motivational and you went home and this happened and I still prayed because I was super motivated that day. No, you don't rely on that. You rely on discipline, because you are chasing a particular goal and you know what tasks you need to do on a daily basis to achieve that particular goal. So keep in mind that discipline is the only skill required to accomplish any other skill. Discipline is the only skill required to accomplish any other skill. So with that being said, keep that in mind. Don't rely on motivation. Don't look for motivational pointers and motivational, whatever it might be. Rather look for systems that complement and helps you to adapt discipline as a lifestyle in your life. And as they say, it takes on average 30 to 60 days to adapt a new habit and to drop an old habit. So if you do that for, at least, 2 to 3 months, and you force yourself to adapt that lifestyle and that, those systems that you apply that complement this discipline in your life, if you do it for at least 2 months, 3 months, inshallah, that will become second nature to you, and it will become a lifestyle that you have adopted, and it will be way easier for you to do the tasks that you are supposed to do to accomplish your goal, which is becoming fluent in the Arabic language. Hopefully that is of benefit, and I ask Allah أن ينفع بكم وأن ينفع بي وأن ينفع بما علمنا وأن يعلمنا علما نافعا. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.